The Haida language, there are just over 20 fluent speakers left in Haida Gwaii. There are 3 dialects. Well, there are probably more than that, but there are 3 communities now, Sgaawaay, Masset, and Heidelberg in Alaska. There are quite a few language champions, so people who have taken on learning the language, who've made it their life and breathe it every day and work really hard on the language. My mother's a linguist in the Tsilhqot'in language, and so this is actually what was probably one of the most intriguing aspects of the pre-production for me. I found myself really excited and kind of geeking out on, how can we prepare these actors to not only speak in that language, but emote properly, tonally. And I really wanted the few last speakers, I think because of the specific with the Haida language, with there being so few fluent speakers left, the intensity of the responsibility to get it right was really strong. I wanted the few speakers when listening to it to just be like, that's how it is, that's how it sounds.
Dang ujugang stanus keldang haldagang.
Gaskilu da ta klagen.
Gasa seekly pleadang iagan.
In one breath, it's so powerful because it is a regenerative aspect, right? With our colonial history and language being taken, finding that voice and for that voice to be expressed again is really exciting in itself. Some of the things we did is we got audio recordings for the cast of all of their lines, and they had that about 6 months prior. So they got to study on their own. They then had mentorship, like one-on-one mentorship with either a language speaker or a champion within the community that they had a certain amount of mentorship hours with. And then we did what we called a boot camp, a language boot camp, where we spent 2 weeks living out in off-grid longhouses all together. It was also a way that we could also kind of, do the bonding before we were about to live in the bush for 6 weeks to shoot. And in that time, we played with a theater process they use for memorization and rapid memorization. And what you do is you just have someone feed lines. So you have a bunch of line feeders per scene, and you have the cast have a person each who feeds them lines, and they stand up like as though they're on a stage, and they just do the scene over and over and over and over again with someone just orally feeding them the lines. Not only do they get that memorization process with them there, but they also will then be able to be coached by these language speakers who'll say, no. You don't go up there in tone when you're asking a question. Like, that's English. Haida, we don't do that. It was such hard work. And I remember finally, after giving them a week to do that, it was like, okay, let's all come together. Let's pick one scene, and selected a bunch of the actors. And I said, okay, this time we're gonna do it. I just want you guys to act like giddy teenagers, do the whole scene that way. Like giddy, giddy, giddy. You just, person you have a crush on has just arrived and they've brought you, a gift and da-da-da-da. And so it was incredible because as they began, people were feeding them their lines and they were now bringing the emotion to the lines. So then it was super alive, right? And then all of a sudden, the actors were just saying their lines without being fed, and they shocked themselves. Like within that week, they had memorized. It was a pretty powerful couple weeks.